Hey, y'all, welcome back to another Birmingham luxury market update. Today, we are going to be talking about the Mountain Brook area. I know a lot of people are interested in the Mountain Brook area here in Birmingham. It was one of the first areas kind of established in Birmingham, and it dates back to a lot of old money back in the day. A lot of families have continued their legacy in Mountain Brook, and there is a lot of luxury real estate there. So it's going to be fun today looking at the numbers and showing you what has sold, what's active, and what to expect as a seller and a buyer in the Mountain Brook market area. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get into it. I think last week we actually had some issues with video from Zoom. And so hopefully that doesn't happen again. But let's get into it and see what we can find. All right, y'all. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and start with looking at the actives in Mountain Brook. Again, we're looking at $750,000 and up. And we're going to look at what's on the market currently, as we're going to talk about, if you're a buyer in Mountain Brook and you want to be in Mountain Brook, what is there to see? So let's take a look and kind of give you an idea of what's going to happen. So 750,000 and up. You see the first one here is 759,000. You got 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 4.5-bath. It's been on the market for 126 days and it was built in 1989. So the style of this house is a little different than some Mountain Brook houses. I don't know why it hasn't sold, but we're offering some incentives. Seller willing to pay a 2-1 buy down to assist buyer with mortgage rate. So 126 days is kind of a long time on the market for Mountain Brook, and you'll see that in the solds. So it looks like this house sits on a very steep lot just with this photo right here. So that might have something to do with it. We started at $849, so they've dropped the price $90,000 already. So as a buyer, you might look into that from a negotiation standpoint, and it could definitely help you out. So we'll keep going down the line. Next one is 779, is a 4.2, 77 days on market. You have, and this was built in 1950. Like I said, a lot of these houses in Mountain Brook are going to be older homes because this is one of the areas that was established, kind of one of the first areas that was established over the mountain from downtown Birmingham. It's right on the edge of downtown Birmingham. And so this is where all the families that owned a lot of the factories and the businesses down in Birmingham started to establish this area. And it's kind of stayed like that for the longest time. So if we keep going, you see 779 is built in 1950 as a 4.2, probably a ranch style house. 77 days on market. You have another one, 799, 5.4, 1960, 23 days on market. And then we jump up to 899. So $100,000 increase for 3.5. 1971, 2 days on market. I just want to look at the square footage of these. So this has 4,768 square feet HVAC area, 3,400 a living area, and then some finished basement as well. So you can see that's $899, been on the market for 2 days so far. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if it goes under contract or is sold anytime soon. So there's only 12 houses active that aren't contingent, aren't under contract, aren't sold right now in Mountain Brook. That's pretty low. That's very low inventory. And so that drives the prices high for a lot of these houses. So we go into the $900,000 mark. This is in the Crestline area, which is super popular as well. 4.2.5, and this is only 3,400 square feet total. 2,300 living area, 1,000 square feet of finished basement. That's pretty small for $900,000, but I'm sure. Well, as you can see, I was going to say, I'm sure the market calls for it, but it's been on the market for 189 days now. So it looks like it was a flip. Let's take a look at the pics. Yeah, so fully remodeled, looks great. Staging looks good too, but people are not finding the value in it. Kitchen looks kind of small. But I'm curious. Wow, they start at 1.25 million. So I definitely think this house is overpriced. They could probably come off a little bit more than that as well and have a little bit more interest. I'm curious on how many showings and activity that they have had on that house. And then we keep going. Let's just go ahead and cross the threshold of a million. So we crossed the million threshold, built in 2006. It's the first house that is built in past 2000 right here that we see that's active on the market. 34 days on the market. Cherokee Bend, 4.5. Cherokee Bend's a great little area. They have a fantastic elementary school there. This house is huge, 4,493 square feet, 6,400 total square footage with only 4 bedrooms. I'm surprised this house hasn't had, I bet it's had a lot of showings, to be honest with you. Let's see what the inside looks like. So the inside actually looks nice. It doesn't look outdated like I thought it was going to look. Looks like you've got some new paint, good kitchen scheme going. So I'm sure somebody will come along. They might have to reduce the price on this a bit, but that gives you an idea of a 6,400 square foot home. It's been on the market for 34 days now. So that gives you an expectation of what to look for as a seller. We go to the next one is 1.288 million. This was built in 1999. This is a 5-bedroom, 4-bath house and just under 5,000 total square footage. You've got some unfinished basement square footage as well. So this house looks great, at least from the photos. Looks really good. I think it's right around the corner from Mount Brook High School as well. It's in the Cherokee Bend area as well. It's been on the market for 51 days. But that goes to show you that the houses that are over 1.2 million have been on the market for a little bit. We jump up straight to a new construction house just on the market, 1.498 million, 2,329 square feet in the Cherokee Bend area. This is just a new construction house. You can probably pick your finishes, I assume. Proposed new construction home, high-end finishes, and the ability to make your own. So you can make some decisions there with the builder. He's allowing that if you pay his price. And then we jump almost to 2 million at 1.95 here active, only 3,905 square feet total, one level it looks like. It actually does say there's upper square footage. Looks like it's mainly one level. Older home, 1961. So it does have 2.37 acres, which is kind of where a lot of the value in these houses is. A lot of people, if you've got a couple acres with your house in Mountain Brook, it's worth a lot more money. The land there is worth a lot. So they have actually come down $150,000 already, and it's been on the market for 29 days. So they seems like they're ready to get rid of it if they're pumping out price reductions that fast. And now the most expensive house that is on the market in Mountain Brook right now is $5.995 million. So $6 million. It's just under 12,000 square feet, which is a massive home. Built in 1999. It's been on the market for 429 days. So a year and a half now, it's been on the market. And I'm curious to see how much traction they've had on this house, because I don't think it's very much because of the style of the home. It's a very unique and interesting style of the home. There's only 8 pictures here. So very modern, contemporary, but kind of like, I don't know, very, very interesting style. It's kind of cut right into the side of the hill as well. So it's kind of on a cliff, A lot of trees, very wooded lot, which is nice for privacy. But it's been on the market for a very long time. They're asking $500 a square foot, which is kind of crazy. But it also comes with 8.5 acres. So that's a lot of property in Mountain Brook. And that's why they're probably asking so much money for it. And that is the most expensive thing on the market right now. And just to give you an idea as a buyer, what to expect, a lot of these houses have been on the market for a while. And we aren't seeing like there's this new construction house that just came on the market. And then there's this house in 1965 that just came on the market today as well. 0 days on market. But those are the two things that have come on the market. And we'll look at some coming soons and see if there's anything coming up. But this is what you have to look at. You've only got 12 houses right now that are active, that are not under contract, that you can pick from. That is a very limited pool. So if you want to move to Mountain Brook, you might have to make some sacrifices or hold out until the house comes. If you're a seller in Mountain Brook, let's go ahead and look at the sold section. This is everything that has sold this year in Mountain Brook so far. We've had a total of 87 sales over $750,000 in Mountain Brook up until this date. This is from January 1 to now. So we've had the least expensive, 3 beds, 2.5 baths for $767,000. Spent 0 days on the market. This sold last month. May 12th is when it closed. So that's promising for a seller. Oh, it also went over asking price. So they were asking $652 and it sold for $767. This is crazy to me because, in the last one in Vestavia and Homewood, things were going for $100,000 over asking price. As you can see here, this went over $100,000 over asking price. And it appraised. They probably had an appraisal gap in there, but it appraised. So, we also had another one, 42 days on market, 771, 0 days on market. I'm looking at these as a seller. This is just what you can expect. Lots of homes here, 0, 0, 2, 3, 3, 3, 1, 4, 2, 2, less than a week on the market. That is selling your house quick. So there's a lot of demand here as well. Let's just look at this house that was 0 days on the market as well. Listed at $775, sold for $775. That was last year actually. So I'm curious on how. Let me double check my criteria. That must have been entered wrong for some reason. Because that says it's sold in 2022. Must be for comps. For comps only, sold with adjoining vacant lot. Let's see here. If we keep going down, let's look at something that is 35 days on the market. It spent 35 days on the market. Looks like a one level, less than 2,000 square feet, a third of an acre of a lot in Crestline, 860,000 list price, sold for 800,000 cash. If we keep going up in value, let's look at this house right here, Crestview, another Crestline house. So if you have something in Crestline, there's a lot of demand there, less than 2,000 square feet, listed at $799, sold for $845. 1 day on the market. And this just closed. So this closed 2 days ago. So on Monday, this house closed. That's crazy for $45,000 over asking, and it appraised. Probably a multiple offer situation if I had to guess, just because of the demand. Now, if we go back to this Cherokee Bend area right here, see that the houses start getting more expensive. If we look at this one, this spent 181 days on the market, built in 1959. Definitely a different style. 3,165 square feet, 3,000 square feet of finished basement. So you've got 6,200 total square footage. Originally listed at 1.045 million. They dropped it down to 899, and then it sold for 882, 166 on a conventional loan. I think it sold for that because it was an interesting home. Might have been priced a little too high for the marketplace, depending on what the inside looks like. As you can see, it was right here. If you see my mouse, it was listed previously for 199 days and then relisted for 181 days before it closed in March. And it almost took 2 months to close it. So there could have been issues with the house. Who knows? But it's been a little bit of time on the market. That is by far the most we've seen that have spent on the market so far. Here's one in Cherokee Bend that spent 21 days on the market, built in 1990, 4,310 square feet, 2,500 of unfinished square footage, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, listed at 874.9, sold for 874.9 on conventional loan. So these things are appraising. There's demand there. People want to live in this area. Let's just go ahead and bump over the $1 million mark. A lot of stuff in the 900s, but let's bump into the $1 million range. All right, $1 million on the dot, a condo. So this is a condo in Mountain Brook, Old English Lane. $1 million was the list price. It's 2,452 square feet. And it sold for $1 million cash. You don't see that often. There's not a lot of condos in Mountain Brook. So somebody really, really wanted that place. And it was, they must have been eyeing it. 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 0 days on the market, paid cash for it. They were ready to strike while the iron was hot there. And then we've got another house here on Mill Run Road. This is one level with a basement. So 2,400 square feet on the one level, 5,300 square feet total with the basement. This was listed at 849 and sold for $1 million. So 150,000 over asking. That was in April. 2 days on the market. So if you're a seller in Mountain Brook, if your house is priced right and it's in a great location, it could definitely go over asking price. There's the demand there for it, which is, it's nice to see. That just goes to show you that there's still a limited amount that's on the market and there's more demand than we have inventory. I know the news is out there saying that we're going into housing crisis, this and that. But I'm telling you, I'm showing you the numbers right here for just one market area. And I've done this on multiple already. This shows you that there is limited things on the market. There's been 87 houses sold so far this year, which is definitely a low number. And then you only have 12 houses on the market right now, active, that you can choose from if you're a buyer. So that just drives the demand through the roof. That's why things are selling over asking price. All right, so let's get back to it. Let's look at this one that was spent 62 days on the market. This house was built in 1949. It's got 1/4 of an acre of a lot, 2,500 square feet, 2,584 square feet, and 1,000 square feet of finished basement. The house looks fantastic. It does look virtually staged, but it looks really good. Whoever refinished it did a great job. They originally listed at $1.299 million. They lowered the price to $1.125 million. And they sold it FHA for $1.095 million. That was just a couple of days ago. That was 2 weeks ago, with $17,000 in closing costs. Very interesting to see that go FHA. They must have had a very large down payment, if I had to guess. So it is very, very nice house. 3,670 total square feet. So I say the square footage because I want you, if you're a seller and you know, like, hey, My house is in between 3,500 and 4,000 square feet. You can see what is popular and what's selling quickly. That took 62 days to sell. And then if we go down, let's go over the 1.1 million mark. We'll go to this one right here. 2 days on market in Crestline. Beautiful little home, 2,000 square feet, listed at $899 and sold for $1.15 million. I'm just going to say that again. Listed at $899, 900,000, sold for $1.15 million, and it's only 2,000 square feet in Crestline. And this sold just last month. Sold in 5 days. They had it under contract in 5/11, closed 5/16, 5 days. That is wild. Sold for cash, $1.15 million. Great for them. Somebody really, really, really wanted this house. Good for the sellers. This house looks like it's in great shape, and it looks like it's in a fantastic location. So good for them for getting over asking price, $250,000 over asking price. Talk about equity in your house. That right there is amazing for a seller. Now, if we keep going down, let's just bump down to the most expensive house sold so far this year, Briarcliff Road, $3.495 million. And I believe I've been in this house, 7,609 square feet. I want to say I've been in this house. So I used to sell Cutco when I was in college. And so Mountain Brook's a great area to sell Cutco in. And most of the people who live in Mountain Brook already have Cutco, because a lot of people just bought it. You know, a lot of kids sold Cutco there, and a lot of people bought it. So I would go in and sell them a couple of knives or sharpen their knives or whatever. But I think I have been in this house because I remember this. I remember this kitchen here, or this wet bar. So this is the most expensive house that has sold so far this year. I did my demo right here on this island, actually. So $3.5 million, 3.495 was the list price, sold for 3.5 for cash. It's a beautiful house. It's a big house, 7,000 square feet, 7,600 square feet. That's a big old house. And it sits on 8 acres. That's the best part about it, is that it's a big house, sits on 8 acres in Mountain Brook, and it's in a great location. And they've kept great care of the house too. So that is the most expensive thing that has sold so far this year. Spent 1 day on the market, sold for cash in April, and it only took 2 weeks to close it. So great for the seller. And good job for the agent for pricing it the right way and getting it sold fast and quick. Dell Road is also a road that is super popular in Mountain Brook. A lot of big houses there, 1.59 acres with this house, 6,563 total square feet. Living area is 4,698. List price at $1.995 million, and it sold for $2.55 million. Conventional. This is just, it blows my mind that this is still happening right now, because, you know, I reiterate this. I hear so many times like, oh, the real estate market's hard. I'm sure it's tough, you know, but as a seller, look at this. 2.55 million is what they got for this. And they asked 1.995. So $550,000 over asking price. $555,000 over asking price. What are you going to do with an extra $555,000 right now? Drop it in the comments below. If you sold this house, what would you do with that extra $555,000? That is wild to me. Somebody really, really wanted this house too. And again, it's on Dell Road, which is a great road to be on. I wonder if it has a view. This house was built in 1953 too, by the way. So it's not a brand new house, but I'm sure the inside looks fantastic. Very traditional style here. Oh, well. I was gonna see if it has a view, but wow, it still has wallpaper. That is crazy. So good for the sellers though. You know, an extra $550,000 on the sale of their house, and it just closed last month. Like the market is still hot. So if you're a seller in Mountain Brook right now, I would be looking at this. If you have a house on Dell Road, you might need to look at what has sold around you. That was four bath, 2 half baths. Spent 2 days on the market. So you better be really considering if you could get $550,000 over asking price, what would you do with that? Would you travel? Would you go buy a house for cash with just that 550,000 and have the equity chilling, or would you buy more rental properties? What? Drop it in the comments. I really want to know what you would do if you got 550,000 over asking price. We have another house here listed at 2.3 million, sold for 2.3 million. This was in March. So conventional loan, 5 days on the market. As you can see, this is 5,300 square feet. It doesn't really matter the size of your house in Mountain Brook. If you have a house that the value is there, then people want it. It's got it. As we can tell by what's active, it might just need to be on the right road. It might need to have certain upgrades, certain touches to make sure it's worth it. But guys, people are eating it up. They love it. They want to live in Mountain Brook. Obviously, most expensive house sold 1 day on the market. 1, 2, 0, 5, 3, 2, 2. So people want to live here. The demand is here. The numbers literally show it. So if you are a seller, seriously consider getting in touch with your agent or getting in touch with me so that we can price your house out to see what you could get for it. If you have a lot of equity built up in it, fantastic. If you don't, that's okay. You might have built-in equity with somebody paying over asking price. Now, if you're trying to keep it in the family, I definitely understand. A lot of people do that in Mountain Brook, but I just want you to realize, if you're watching this, what your house might be worth if you decide to sell it. So that will conclude our market update here in the Mountain Brook area. I'm pumped to see those numbers because the demand, it just shows that demand is still there, that there's such a low inventory that buyers, they'll buy and they'll pay over asking. If they get into a multiple offer situation, especially with somebody who has a lot of cash or they're just determined to be there, bid it up. Agents, bid it up. You know, do the job for your seller that you're supposed to do. Get them the maximum amount of money that they can make on their house. So if you like this content and you enjoyed our market update, please drop it in the comments below. Drop a like on this video. I would really, really appreciate it. Share it with somebody who lives in Mountain Brook so that they can see what their house could be worth. And get in touch with me if you need to sell your house. Thank you so much for watching this. I will be back next week with a different episode. Stay tuned with that. I'll have a guest on Friday. We're going to record a podcast here in the studio about a creative investment opportunity. So I'm not going to do a market update next Wednesday, but I will do a creative investment opportunity that could be very interesting for you. So stay tuned for that one. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you next time.